Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there stood a group of adventurers at the edge of the woods. And in this group was a young prophetess and a sad pair of sirens, a tireless soldier, a hooded woman, and Ponos, of course. No, but for real. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Oathsworn, an Odyssey the Dragonlords campaign here with a little different flavor on that intro today. Gotta give some shout outs to everyone calling me out for unintentionally quoting plays last time, or I guess musicals. I am, of course, Turk, or Turk Accented, your DM for the evening, but I am joined by so many fantastic storytellers here that your attention should not be upon me, but upon them. So players, if you could please introduce yourselves and who you'll be bringing tonight, starting with Comrade.
Hey, Comrade Crash. My character's name is Leo Dracos, the human paladin, oath of the Dragonlord, and walks the path of the vanished one. And next up is Heck.
Hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. Today I am playing Calliope, the College of Epic Poetry Siren Bard. That I definitely said that out of order, but it's fine. She also walks the path of the Dragon's Lair. Moving on over to HP.
I am the last hit point hero, and tonight I will be playing a Thrynos, the siren sorcerer, walking the path of the demigod. Over to Tony.
Hello, I am Tony, playing Eliana Legide, the high elf cleric who walks the path of the gifted one. We're going to move it on upwards and onwards to Ponos/Al.
Hello, folks. Alabitha playing Ponos, the Odyssean rogue who walks the path of the cursed one. And I'll hand it up to Chrissy.
Hello. I will be playing Defera Adamos. She is our Medusa warlock, walking the path of the... Oh, I tried to do it from memory. The haunted one. Hey!
There you go.
Got it. Check. It's only been like a year. Thank you.
Not quite that long yet, but we're getting there. Gosh, it's gonna be a year. Oh, I feel old. Anyway, our session begins as it left our heroes deep in the old wood. As everyone is settling down for the evening, they are on their way to find the Horn of Balmytria, one of their many labors that they must complete in order to prove their worth to the people of all Thylea as heroes of the prophecy. Also, it might help them save the world. One of the two. But really, it's about proving yourself. It's about the fame. Anyway, they have pursued, after bravely stopping the sacrifice of the princess of Estoria to the god Sidon via basilisk, and celebrating and taking some time off, though finding some drama all their own. They have pursued the trail of spilled wine into this dark and, well, not dingy. It's quite lively in here. A lot of small things chittering about. And either way, y'all settling in for the evening. Is anyone doing anything as of note at this moment?
I think Leo goes up to Eliana and pulls out his pack and just say, hey, your father wanted me to give these to you. He said they would help out. And I give her the boots of Elvenkind. I was just holding for you. I wasn't tempted to put them on or anything.
Just gonna look at them and just kind of notice the family heirloom. Like, why now?
Well, we're about to go somewhere dangerous. And they're worried about you.
Right. Oh, thanks. I didn't expect him to give these up.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's great. And then I think Leo kind of awkwardly walks off.
Well, is there anything else? No? Very well. The night passes. Other question. Are you all setting watch? The order doesn't particularly matter. I just need to know, general head nod, not wanting to be taken unawares in the woods.
Yes.
Seems like a very wise decision. I think we should.
All right. Heading in, your dreams are normal, whatever your character might be dreaming of in this moment. I mean, you've done a lot, honestly. You've come a long way from just a band of boar hunters from out in the heartlands, potentially prophesized to maybe be of somewhat importance. You've grown to be the saviors of an entire city through one means or another. You've relit ancient forges and are now on your way to recover a precious holy artifact. I mean, that's some impressive stuff. If you could please, in overlay order, tell me where your hero's thoughts lay as you set your heads down for the evening.
I think Leo is still unsure of how things will play out, especially after last time. He was very worried that he wouldn't be able to help, but sometimes the best assistance is not helping. And so he's taking that to heart. Also, asking for consent, always.
Well, Mikros will kindly cuddle into your chest as you fall asleep, and definitely low you.
Do we just want to go an overlay order?
Calliope, yes,
okay,
if you
yeah,
would.
okay. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I mean, considering we are now tracking things that are, little minions, little things made by Lutheria, I think there's this underlying level of stress that Calliope is feeling right now. That's just kind of like this low baseline. Just thinking of that right now. Maybe a little bit of, for the first time in quite a bit, wondering like what her contemporaries are kind of thinking about her at this moment with more recent events. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Thrynos is probably thinking about that hug that Pythor gave him. Because the entire intention of confronting Pythor was to figure out why he abandoned Thrynos, only to find out that, well, he's not even Thrynos' dad, and yet still got a hug out of it. So there was a lot of expectations subverted.
Eliana focuses more on, and I'm trying to remember his name. The gentleman she encountered on her way to the Oldwood Forest.
Ah,
originally.
yes, Theracles.
Ah, yes. Theracles?
Theracles Phobos.
Is it Phobos or Phobos?
With an A. I'm sorry if I said with an O.
Well,
but
I
went
super
with an A.
wrote that wrong.
It sounds like it should be
Anyway.
Phobos. Phobos meaning fear, but heroically it is spelled with an A.
About what he was telling her about with his missing kid, and then the whole fact that that family is essentially famous for the last time the Dragonlords were out and about. Essentially just focused on this whole shit ass situation in these woods and just wanting to get it over with.
I think last time we left off, Panos was in a super weird space because some stuff happened. I have no doubt that on the walk and this evening, while setting up camp, he would definitely have been a lot more reserved, a lot more standoffish, a lot quieter than usual, rather than his usual kind of brash self-giving, very vague, fake orders to people and kind of generally just, you know, almost mincing about the place in his special way. He would have just sat quietly in the corner and not done an awful lot. Not really contributed to anything, not really bothered with anyone, and as early as possible taken to his bed. Really, I think his sort of self-confidence has been really hit with recent events. Ultimately, he wants to do the right thing. He thinks he's being helpful. He thinks that the plans he comes up with are useful and relevant and achievable, and the thing that's going to make them remembered and make them heroes are these huge gestures, these kind of going beyond the expectations, beyond the limits and reaches of mere mortals, and it's not quite coming to plan in the way that he was hoping. He's also very concerned about something that was mentioned with sort of matching ideas and ideologies. In his mind, certainly, whilst trying to do as much as possible to save this girl, to think of covering every eventuality, however ridiculous. But ultimately, his goal was to make sure that she was safe. If we were going to say she was safe, she had to 100% be safe from anything that could happen, any falter in the plan. What's the backup? How are we going to save this girl? We have promised a god and a city that we are the reason that she will be saved. Did we cover our bases? Are we 100% sure? Panos wanted to be. He wanted to put plans in place. And what happened is what happened. Sometimes you leave it up to fate, but promising a girl that her life would be guaranteed, that everything would go according to plan, should that be left to fate, really? Is that the heroic thing to do? Is that what we're here for? These are all the questions that are going around in his brain. And I seem to remember being told, buddy, you're not part of the team. And he's thinking, well, if I'm trying to do that and I'm not part of the team, what kind of team am I on?
Well said. Tefera.
Yeah, so Defera's probably thinking about a lot of different things. There's probably a lot of frustration, a lot of confusion, because in her mind, similar to what Ponos is experiencing, but on the flip side of that, where like we are supposed to be a team, but nobody is on the same page with what is happening and what is going on. We kind of like have these like very different ideas of what this adventure is going to look like and how it can be accomplished. So she is very confused as to like what the ultimate goal is and what she is doing aside from attempting to probably get people like to know each other beyond like, oh, hey, we made an oath. We're all doing it now, but we don't quite know what we're doing. So we're all gonna do it the way we think we should. So she's like really confused as to how to like navigate being in this new group of people with very little on her part willingness to verbalize some of what she wants and needs from the group, because they are also not doing the same. So she's like, I don't want to be the one. I'm not going to be the one. I don't know what to do. We're all kind of scattered. What happens? So lots of confusion for Defera because she's not a people person. And she's trying real hard to like be part of a group with people. She's not a fan.
Well, each of you retires and receives long rest if you needed one after your extensive stay at the fineries and with the fineries of the palace. But dawn breaks and you awaken in the old woods. The world around you, where once you are might be more accustomed to rockier crags or even ancient pathways walked extensively by travelers before you, now is merely the woods. Sounds of nature fill the air, birds crescendoing with each other, calling in a variety of sounds. Even around your camp, small creatures move about. Nothing malicious, mind you, unless you're a big fan of the nuts that have been kind of just scattered around. And particularly ambitious squirrels and other foragers sneak about. But as per usual, even before the elf rises, you see that your fire is once again blazing brightly with some breakfast foods of a few roasted, cooked at least, maybe a bit burnt. Some wild birds, and Kira looks at you all with passing just waves as she goes back and attends to the fire.
Where'd you get those?
Oh, yeah, well, it's funny. They're flying all around here. It's like, you ever been to a market? It's kind of like a pick 'em yourself thing.
So you just picked a bird out of the air?
Well, no. Unless that would sound more impressive. Then yes, I most certainly did. In fact, I just kind of glanced at it and decided, yes, I will be your meal, most beautiful creature.
Can you teach
Other
me
way
how?
around, maybe.
No, it decided it would want to be eaten by me because I'm incredibly beautiful.
Right, but you made it sound like you were going to be its meal based on your looks.
I know, it said it. I don't mess with my
Right.
prose. That is not possible.
Uh-huh.
I would love to teach you, Leo, but unfortunately, I am quite an expensive tutor, and Versi might be angry at me if I make you too pretty. Then they won't get their hands off you, and ooh.
If you say so.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't think anyone in this party has the constitution to withstand you becoming any cuter. Anyway, anyone want to bite?
I'm
Theranos.
super skeptical.
Theranos will kind of glance at the roasted bird and I'm okay. Thank you.
Oh, it's not like that.
Tastes like chicken.
Say that about everything somehow. I should take some bite. Oh, damn it, you're right, though. This is definitely chicken. Just very small chicken that was flying around. Anyone want flying chicken? Come on.
More
Make it
worried about
bacon.
the fact that you said it was talking.
Oh, well, I'm just naturally attuned to the world, and it's the old wood, so who knows what can talk and what can't. True, it's man.
He spent some time scrabbling around in the dirt, clucking, and eventually something so sorry for you. It has to end this madness.
Well, I suppose you could phrase it like that. Or you can go with my story, which paints me in a much better light. You won't mind if I spread that news, right?
As always, Kira, even if it goes unsaid, you're appreciated.
Well, I wouldn't mind it being said more.
Okay, thanks.
That's a start. That's why you're my favorite, probably. Looks around the group. Any more exaltations? No? Okay, back to chicken. The fire's warm, and you all can go through your morning preparations if you have any. But you're ready to continue further into the woods.
Eliana, you said they went this way. Do you have any other sign of those creatures?
Yeah, hold on. So
Make me
Dan,
that fresh survival check for the morning. All
Now-
the critters moving around could have dissuaded things.
I do have a question before I do that.
Sure thing.
How awful is are these woods? Like, is this some thick woods that are just gnarled trees, and it's gonna be a bitch and a half to try to find these goatling tracks?
Well, there are paths through the woods. There's like, I wouldn't say it's a road kind of thing, but you can make me a history check. You're a well-learned person. You know about things. Specifically, you might know some things about the old woods.
I have a proficient. Let's hope. Well, I have a 4 thanks to Dev.
A 4.
Yeah.
So, the way you
Or
understand
your modifier.
Total.
My modifier is +2. I don't add anything in intelligence.
So
I just have it proficient.
So what you can recall at least in this moment is the old woods are a bunch of weird foresty stuff. It's kind of like where all the druids hang out, and I don't know where those more party teens used to go and get high in.
Oh
no
yeah,
one really.
man. You're gonna go to the old wood floors, man.
Well, they don't go too far in, because the
Oh.
farther in you go, the more. This is the realm of the Thay in this land. Some more terrible people speculate that's where the elves come from, but of course that's incorrect. They're one of the original settlers. This is definitely, it's going to be a little difficult, hence the higher TC. It's not like a well-paved road, but there are paths through here.
Cool. So with that in mind, because I have the poo brain from this morning, Eliana is going to kind of trace in the air the sign of Valus, goddess of wisdom, as I cast enhance ability on myself.
Okay.
Because hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
I'm taking the owl's wisdom, which is gonna be,
of course,
Valus's wisdom. So I have
trying to remember
sweet advantage.
Symbol of Valus, but I will get back to you in a second. But you do.
It is the golden laurels wreath with 5 stars.
Thank you so much. You draw the symbols in the air and you feel yourself imbued with the goddess's assistance.
Cool. 22.
You kind of step back out onto the path, and you get a sense from some trees like, well, no, this is where another creature crossed over. That's the wrong kind of hoof mark. That's entirely too large for a goatling. But certainly enough, you can find some stained grass with just that right tint of purple to not be some kind of disease or blight. Definitely a wine stain. And sure enough, you're able to pick up trail.
All right, if everyone's ready, I believe I know where to follow. Those bastards stole the kids and the damned horn.
Let's go.
That's good. Lead the way.
All right. Continuing on, the rays of light shine through the treetop here. You'll notice it's odd. It's not like bright and shiny sun, kind of god rays, but just enough light for you to be able to see without a need for dark vision or anything that could suck to keep track of. For adventuring purposes, it's considered perfectly normal light, but it is definitely a heavy canopy of trees above, as a variety of moss and tree leaves intermingle to keep you nice and cool as heavy winds whistle through the trees. And again, the sounds of nature just kind of overwhelm anything beyond you. Or once you might have been lost in a crowd, it now seems a stark contrast. Any lights you do see, any clearings in these trees seem to indicate that above the sky is quite cloudy, which, to be fair, coming from a city that was in a way besieged by Sidon to be perpetually in a drought, it's a welcome change of pace. Get some coverage, don't have to worry about putting on sunscreen today. It's lovely. However, as you are walking, and you get about an hour's worth of travel in, unimpeded, unless you count some very aggressive hedgehogs, you feel that you are being watched. It's something that doesn't come to you all immediately, obviously, but just like a natural adventuring sense, I'd say, kind of expectation of danger on the road. The whistling of the trees seems to follow you a bit too closely behind, even when there is no wind to move and rustle the branches. Do you continue on, or would you like to stop and scan about?
Does anyone else feel like we're not alone?
Impending sense of dread? Yeah, I feel it too. Yeah, I'll take a look around.
All right, make me a perception check.
Yep, natural one.
I know you look around and can conclude to yourself only, it must have been the wind.
Oh.
Fortunately, no arrow is sticking from your chest to provide any truly horrific consequences. But yeah, you see nothing. You're fairly certain, actually, that it must be some squirrels or birds jumping,
I don't know. I still feel sus.
You're allowed to. I mean, those squirrels seem really interesting getting at your snacks.
Yeah, man. There are certain species that yell at you if you're too close to their tree.
I have had those outside at a cabin when I was up in Maine. Oh my God. Every time I walk out.
Not to get off topic, but they do. They're vicious.
Anyway, they aren't that kind of squirrel. They are Grecian squirrels, so they're cool. But there's a variety of wildlife around you. Some magical, some not. So it's perfectly understandable that something would shake the trees a little bit heavier than others.
Maybe nothing to worry about then.
continuing on. Get about another 30 minutes. Occasionally, again, you can all hear the rustling behind you. The wind kind of covers it mostly. And then you hear a voice. It doesn't quite echo around you so much as it seems to just call up from the canopy above. Ink your wings, sing your songs, nothing will save you when the dragon comes.
Hello?
You hear small laughter first, and then all of the leaves rustle again from several areas, and then nothing.
What was that first word?
Ink. I-N-K.
Hello, someone out there?
Go dig up a grave, little shell of a man. You can't save them, but maybe your brother can.
Don't you
Is that a
talk about
goddamn-
my brother.
Goddamn pixies.
You have a brother?
Yeah, don't you?
No.
Oh, okay. What'd you say about pixies?
That was out of character.
What is going on here?
Oh,
Someone's
sorry.
spouting very personal insults.
Not personal.
I have heard more creative rhymes, though.
Lost little goatling, acting so brave. A shame your pride's the only thing you saved.
Did that
I
thing
think
just...
maybe we should just continue and ignore this. I don't think this is very helpful.
I agree, Ponos. This thing is probably just another fae.
Little lost lady, acting so scary. What would your dad think? Or the one that you married?
Well, I ain't married, so
Did
Maybe
you
it
marry
wasn't
your
for
own
you.
dad?
pretty sure I didn't. This one's just making assumptions, and it's not even good assumptions.
You're all
Just
free to
weird.
make me a
Good
fresh
cooking.
round of perception checks if you're stopping and looking around.
Yeah, Leo's going to. It was a bad omen.
If
let me tell
anyone,
you.
if anyone can roll not a negative one or a
Or a
natural one,
natural-
Chef's kiss for the -1.
Yo, if you could see these rolls.
Well,
Here's
yeah,
a
holy shit, Ponos. How
negative
do you roll
one,
a fucking neg?
a
one?
natural one, a 9, and a 12.
To be fair, double digits. That's
Yeah,
Uh,
double digit.
Threnos, are you also taking a look? And Clyde, you can also try again as well.
Yes, please.
As soon as I find the right button.
Well, sure thing. Take your
I
time.
swear, if I roll another natural one.
There
Okay,
you
that's
go.
better. 18.
All of a 12.
Okay. Everyone else, you kind of see everything lost in the foliage above as the shaking of the trees seems to alert a lot of local wildlife and they begin scattering. Calliope, you're keen-eyed enough and maybe hateful enough to recognize these not only song but flapping of 3 harpies. They're just floating about in the top canopy, jumping occasionally and landing and cackling at you. They don't seem to want to engage at the moment, though.
Theranos
She'll
not
just
seeing...
kinda-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. She'll just point up at him for the rest of the group that may not have seen. Be like, yeah, actually, nothing of real consequence.
Theranos will look up and after getting the creatures pointed out will say, Strange little voice up in the trees. What use are your taunts? Leave us alone, please.
Hit him.
Well, what's the move? You're just gonna continue on, or they seem quite happy to continue to occasionally drop rocks around you from up in the trees, not directly hit anybody, but just kind of like ruin your day.
Okay.
I mean, so how high up are they?
If you start to draw a weapon or make any sign, they'll all scatter and fly pretty high up in the sky, like
Yeah,
a
it's what I
vulture.
motherfucking thought.
I think it's best we leave them to their play.
I'm being annoying?
Well, that's really all they're doing, isn't it? Maybe get ready for
I
more,
know.
but harpies aren't worth our attention.
I mean, I wouldn't complain if maybe we tried to attack them. I don't know.
Don't
I
feel
mean,
like
what do you expect us to do with them that high in the air?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the trees all over makes it really hard.
No, I'm not saying you need to do something. I just think their rhyme schemes are terrible and honestly amateur at best. Love being an NPC who can insult myself.
I mean, if they want to start getting close, I will just, sacred flame.
If you want to
Or better
prepare
yet, toll the dead.
well, if you want to prepare that, you can certainly wait.
Nah, we're busy. We have shit to do.
Okay. Well, as you continue on, the soft breeze that had been blowing through seems to only increase in its ferocity. Well, ferocity might be the right word. Its severity. It's just the wind. And looking up, you lose more and more light faster, not to the sun moving any quicker, and certainly not to, the changing of the seasons just yet. But a heavy cloud cover begins forming overhead as I go out of focus. Fix that in a second. Kira is looking about and notes, should we find somewhere to hunker down for this? I don't like the look of those clouds.
It's just a little rain. It won't hurt anyone.
Yeah, maybe. Possibly. Still don't particularly like the idea of hanging around in a storm.
Was there any shelter around here that you know of? Because otherwise it's hiding under a tree in a storm, which is not always the best thing.
I don't know. I don't know anyone nearby. I think I visited druids once out here. They were crazy. I mean, I don't think we were supposed to drink that much sacred wine, but you come out here with Pythor once to make sure everything's okay, and then somehow you end up in the plains and you're wearing pants. I mean,
You spend a lot of time with Pythor, Kira.
Oh, one time when I was, first traveling around. He's a good guy. He likes poets, so,
Just wondered.
Well, I'm a cool party person. What can I say? I'm really fun at parties. You should invite me to more. You should throw more. You'd be very popular then.
We just need to become more famous.
There you go. Do it all for the parties. That's the real heroic stanzas we need. He did it for the gram. We'll put it on your tombstone or something, you know. Set you up in the necropolis.
There'll be stories about it, I'm sure.
Certainly, I'd hope so. If it's a halfway decent party, if I'm there, it should be. I mean, you guys turned down having a party with Pythor, so I mean, whose loss is that?
Like you said, there'll be more. So what do the rest of you think? Hide from the storm or push through?
I'd prefer to push through, if possible.
And from the looks of it, there's not many places to hide.
We could make one?
You want us to build something to survive a storm that we can't walk through?
I don't know. You're heroes.
Well, we're heroes. I have a shield. Like, I can put it over someone's head.
He's got a shield. It's a start.
It's metal. I don't know, but that might be bad. Who knows?
God, he's got a helmet too. It might not be protecting much. Come on.
If Eliana stands just a little ways away from us and walks around with a spear straight up in the air, we'll probably all be fine.
She'll get, even though you can't see it, she'll just give you a nice leer.
I say we press on, but keep our eyes open for shelter.
Agreed.
Good compromise?
Sounds good.
Fine. I don't like getting struck by lightning. Putting it out there
I'm sure
now.
the trees will take care of that for you. Hopefully, maybe even the harpies. They'd like to flutter about in the sky.
You see they are having if you can turn your eyes up, you can see they're having a difficult time when you can get sight of them. That they do intend on still swooping down and saying, "Your parents hate you!"
At least I have parents.
Got him.
Suck it.
I think at that point, Leo kind of gets a little quiet. And kind of just walks off.
Oh shit, did I accidentally hurt Leo's feelings? Fuck.
You can't tell. As he leads the pack.
As he leads, and you all continue to head on. The winds continue to grow. Do you have a funky knee when the weather starts to shift? You know, Leo might technically be old enough to have one. But that like smell as you get, I don't know, it might just be a weird thing some people have, but like a smell just before a rainstorm comes through, where everything is kind of eerily quiet almost, and it's just the wind pushing through, but there's that kind of moisture in the air. Not
The word is petrichor.
well, I know petrichor, but that's dust after rain, and that's not quite dust just yet. We're getting to petrichor, where it's that pre-petrichor state.
It's just a little bit of pre-petrichor. As always, just before a storm comes, Thrynos thinks he can hear his mother's voice in the distance.
And indeed, you can hear somebody singing out. It's harpies, and they're singing out a song in praise of Sidon above you. But nothing materializing yet. That wind continues to pick up. A lot of the trees all moving in unison. As old and tired wood is flexed under the strength of a storm, leaves bristling around you. And you hear the first, but what might certainly not be the last, distant thunder crash.
Hate to be the one to say it, but maybe we should find shelter somewhere.
Well, I didn't mind saying it, so I don't say I should hate it, but there's particularly big trees. I don't know about that. Would digging a hole help?
Don't know. Any ideas for shelter?
Unfortunately, there's not too much I can do in the way of that.
Yeah, just hiding under a tree is all I can think. Like, I don't want to set up a tent because it might just fly away.
Yeah, we shouldn't set up any tents. Well, get down low and crawl under a thicket and hope for the best. This is going to be a miserable time.
I'd say so. So, usually, this is the part where I'd be like, what's everyone doing for the evening to help set up your nice, peaceful campsite? But I do have to know, what is the scenario and what is everyone doing to make sure that you guys can safely brave out the storm for the night, if it comes to that?
Well, it'll depend on how close people want to get, because I think Leo finds a big, sturdy tree and then just hammers in his shield, just like from where the wind is coming, to try to block off as much as possible. And he kind of just like hunkers down underneath, and then I don't think I can like even grabbing sticks or something would be helpful.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't know how many like fallen branches are around or anything, but just like to start to build like some type of lean-to is like the best that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any ideas?
The Pharaoh will help with gathering things for a lean-to.
Okay. So I got some people helping out with lean-tos. Anyone trying to get a fire or some other warmth going, or?
If I can find the most sheltered place possible, I'll cast Create Bonfire and probably just be casting it nonstop to restart it every 6 seconds.
Sure thing. Why doesn't anyone who's trying to identify a good spot to either find a big tree / find a place for a fire, both roll me can roll me survival checks. Anyone who's trying to find good wood or materials to create a lean-to or coverage can make me an investigation, nature, or survival check. And if anyone else is doing anything, let me know.
I got a 16.
14.
Okay. So, Leo, you're able to identify a particularly... It's not like a tall tree. It seems it doesn't reach quite as high as everything else, but it is thick. And you're able to... You decide it's about the width of your shield, so you figure you can probably make extra cover for yourself with the shield, and digging in somewhere next to it on the other side of the wind will probably provide it has kind of like a hollow, not hollow, but like a bit of a divot in it, so you could set up a camp, put a shield there to prevent any water coming in, and with proper lean-to you might be able to kind of create a kind of like how the Rock of Esther parted the waters. A similar solution could be present there. For those trying to find supplies, Tefera, you're having a bit of a hard time. You can find some material. You can find some wood that's fairly dry, but it's a pretty live forest. And as rain begins to fall, it's becoming harder and harder to find any decent wood. So you can get some branches that are halfway decent enough to either be coverage or feed for any fires you might want to create. Calliope, you're able to identify a downed tree which seems to be easy enough to break apart some branches, either between you or any other comrades you want to help out with. Sorry, I didn't think I got Eliana or Ponos. What are you guys up to? I'll slash Threnos. You didn't give me a roll.
Oh, I was just gonna find a place to cast create bonfire, maybe in the hollow of a tree or something.
Yeah. So if you want to follow Leo, he's got a pretty good spot.
Yep.
But Eliana and Ponos, what's up?
Because I think I do. Leo does kind of like make the hint. Hey, let's all get as close together as possible.
Mm-hmm. If you say nothing, I'm going to assume you're snocking.
You're gonna assume we're what?
You know what I said.
Yeah, I'll repeat it for the class.
You smooching.
No.
Okay, well, tell me what you're going to do then. It's my job to push you to action.
How dare you? I guess I don't know, honestly. She doesn't have this particular set of skills.
You do have a shield.
I guess trying to kind of like the lean-to, but essentially making an additional wall of sorts using some wood and using the shield as just a way for water just not to pass through it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so Leo is one side of the tree. If you wanted to get your shield set in for the other to create another bit of obstruction for any water that might come into your hollow, that's certainly something you could easily do if you're following Leo.
It's less like trying to keep water because it's circular shield. It's not gonna stop a water flowing in, but it's to help block wind and rain from barraging us.
Sure. So Calliope's bringing in some heavier branches. You could assist with that and then also tie your shield to the top to provide a spot that definitely won't leak through. DeFero's current leaves might keep out the rain, but at the moment are probably better suited for fire feed. Ponos, what's your game plan?
Ponos is going to tie his bear pelt like a hammock between two trees. So it's off the floor. Any of the kind of metal things, all the weapons are stashed in his bag anyway. But things like the big bag of adamantium that he's lugging around, like almost dragging at times, can all be stored and stowed underneath, with kind of the big blocks of adamantium, piled like bricks, almost like crisscrossed to again like raise in a tower, and then everything just kind of shoved in that. To try and keep, if things do flood, he's going to be off the ground, everything will be more or less protected, and if it rains, you get wet. That's what happens.
Okay.
You'll get dry again at some point.
It's a strong assumption this is going to be a rain. But all right. Yeah, no, you can easily find two trees here that are a proper hammock distance apart and gets yourself set up, and you can nestle in for the evening. Kira will assist with getting branches for Calliope as well, and will help start creating that lean-to. Does anyone have experience creating lean-tos?
In real life?
No, in-game.
Oh, no to both anyway. Well, I guess I technically partly did, but it's not like he who makes shelter to live.
Well, no, I don't expect anyone to be featured on HGTV anytime soon. But with the branches, you're able to make it halfway decent cover. And the fire provided by Threnos can begin kind of crackling in warmth. The wind begins to drastically pick up. rain begins to heavily pour in around all of you. And the sound of thunder overhead can be distinctly heard. I mean, you guys have been out of the rain for a long time. Except for that one weird night in Estoria where it rained out of nowhere despite the drought. Which is kind of neat. But you can feel the trees around you shake and quiver with the might as this wind pounds through them. Absolute thing. Any sign of the harpies has completely gone, and you're just kind of left in this heavy silence, aside from the absolute storm that surrounds you. Can someone roll me a D100?
A lot of responsibility.
I'll do it. I've been rolling well.
I already rolled a 2.
Ooh. Okay.
A strong gust comes through and will rip at your lean-to, absolutely tearing away a lot of the cover. Ponos, you and your hammock are getting, 1, absolutely drenched, and 2, are beginning to be physically moved by the storm itself. Your weight alone in the hammock, not nearly enough. It's threatening to completely spin on you, but you are basically in a very fast-moving, words. Thing you push on your...
Swing?
Swing, thank you. Save me. You're basically on a very large, reclining swing as it's being thrown about in the wind. It's not comfy, to say the least. Everyone else, you can see the rain's beginning to pour in above you. Your initial provision's not nearly enough, and with the 19, I'm going to take that as the second roll. You can hear the tree behind you start to groan as a lot of the forest seems to absolutely be getting torn a little bit from the earth. Thronos, I'm assuming you're going to continue to cast Create Bonfire until these are all each extinguished in about a minute's worth of time, given the heavy downpour at this point.
Unless it makes more sense for me to shift to control water. I know.
At the moment,
or shape
for the
water.
moment, for the moment, no flooding is coming directly in aside from above.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna ask again for another D100 roll. Oh, yeah.
For what is left of the shelter above us, I'm going to use shape water to freeze a roof over our heads.
Oh,
because
very
freezing
nice.
is something you can do with shape water.
This is true.
So I'm going to freeze the water on our roof to give us a better roof. Hold it all together better.
So you can have about 10 feet worth of space of water as you create a 10-foot space. So that is 5 people in 10 feet of space. That's going to be cozy living. But
it unfreezes in an hour, and I can cast it multiple times.
That's going to be a hell of a wake-up call for the night.
It's going to be cold later, but for now, we'll be dryish.
The roof temporarily over all of your heads. I'm going to need someone else to roll D100 as the storm is picking up again. And you can all make me perception checks if you want to be particularly perceptive. A D100. Okay, we have a 47 and a 19. Very good.
Oh no, I forgot to turn off the thing because when I was dying.
You're
The 19's from before, just 47.
Oh, no. I have a 19.
I
you have a
accidentally sent a GM whispered roll.
What?
It was on accident. It was when I was dying.
Secrets.
If you're gonna send secret rolls, send higher secret rolls.
Shut up.
The storm continues to whip. Ponos, you've just completed your first full rotation in the hammock. As your adamantine is still fairly solid on the ground. It's been slightly shifted by you occasionally colliding with it and your swings. But it's, heavy material. Ish. I mean, it's adamantine. It shouldn't be too heavy.
I think, Leo, as he sees hopefully
You
what's going
could
on.
all see Thranos complete a full loop in his hammock. I think at that point you're like getting like tied up in it, like a cocoon, a very wet, windy cocoon.
There's only one way to get through a night like this.
Cast sleep on yourself.
I can't sleep on myself. I can guarantee I'll hit those hit points.
Roll that 5d8.
Pretty sure I can
Okay,
too.
it's going to be hard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, easily did it. And
All
there were
right.
one twos in there.
You are out.
Oh no! I think he got knocked out.
Well, you can't
no.
see him.
Picking
You
up
can't
right
see him.
here.
Oh.
Oh
Good night.
no! Our
You just-
satyr.
You just
He's sleeping. God. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna do something dumb.
okay.
He's gonna owe me.
Leo, you were going to go check on Ponos.
I think so. If he's like just going in circles and he's not
It's like
responding,
occasional. It's not constantly, but he's definitely
Okay.
getting like pushed with the wind to the side, and then we'll just like have done a full loop with this one last big gust that blew through here.
Oh, Leo's going?
or if you were gonna do something else.
You can
Oh,
both
no, I
go.
mean, if you're going, I can do something else. I was just about to be the big dumb.
Someone's got to do something.
I will accept my fate as being miserable all night, slump over, as my sad Thranos character art looks, with leaky, stringy hair, just casting freeze above my head to try and keep the water off.
Okay.
That's my plan for the night.
So much like earlier when I asked for Valis's capabilities, I'm now begging for Pythor as I draw his hammer, cast the enhanced ability of the bull's strength, and go grab Phonos in the storm.
Okay.
Trying to hold myself up, getting fucking drenched, walking sideways.
Ponos and Leo. Sorry,
Oh.
so I'm sorry. Eliana and Leo. Ponos, you're asleep. You're fine. Don't worry. You're safe. As you both leave the coverage of the tree, I'm gonna need you both to make strength saving throws, as this gust is quite powerful. And I don't know if you've taken off your armor or not. Let me know right now what the situation is.
It protects
no,
from the
I'm
rain.
still yeah, totally wearing my mithril breastplate because that's a bitch and a half to get off. We had no time.
That's fair. Okay, you're both armored, so yeah, rank you some strength.
20.
Yeah, okay. So you're both nearly feel this giant gust attempt to take you off your feet, but you manage to kind of hunker down and continue on. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. I'll use that for later.
That better be
Uh-oh.
good.
Oh, it's
Make
not.
it acid rain. You piece.
Why?
What? There's not enough carbon emissions for this.
You've made your way over to the hammock, or I guess cocoon, of Ponos. He seems to be safely tucked inside, though he obviously his form is being blown along with the wind as you're all struggling to keep up with it.
And I'll just like scream out with the rain, the wind, and all that. You grab that side, I'll grab this one.
All right. And I think we might like just cut it, the rope that's holding it up, because he's all tangled up. It's so
He's-
windy. I doubt we
he-
can.
The rope is fairly tangled, yeah. So you can Gordian knot this pretty easily.
Yeah, and like try to get him back under the freezing roof.
Sure thing. Easily enough, both of you have knives or other bladed weapons and can grab it. Ponos, why don't you make me a quick... Oh gosh, I wish I could ask for a luck check. Make me a Constitution save to see if you can stay asleep through this.
Okay.
Oh no.
A 0.
As they
Roll
both
a zero.
cut you down, you will fall, your hammock will like obviously loosen and slacken and will like fall slightly with your weight. And like go, and you'll feel a sudden like jerk as they both catch their side of the rope and basically make you a parasail for a moment, and then sudden tug, and then them both pulling you hard will collide you with your stack of bars, and you'll be shocked awake.
But not enough to knock me out then.
Not enough to knock you out, but that is gonna be 4 damage.
Pretty close.
That's close.
We're halfway there.
Okay. What are you guys doing? Because Ponos, you're now awake, or again in this basically an increasingly tight blanket around you. Not quite like waterboarding you yet, but with the heavy drenching, it's pretty severe.
Man with a head wound and bleeding from. Oh.
Don't worry, you'll be okay. As we try to get him.
We don't know he's like his current condition because he's all wrapped up in his chrysalis.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
So it's just like we're just dragging him. He's like, well, there's a log. Whoops.
Yeah, for the record, Mikros has not gone out with you, Leo.
Who?
Mikros is pseudo dragon.
Oh, I thought
no,
you said
yeah, of
Mikros.
course,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
This bitch abandoned us already. Damn.
He's out.
need-
Yeah. No. No,
Hey
but-
God, it's me, girl. What the fuck?
Yeah, he is nestled into the person who looks the warmest.
Probably Threnos. Oh no, shit. Defira has a hood. She's probably got that warmth right there.
Defira has a hood. That's a prime nesting spot. He'll be trying to climb into your hood. And like giving you some occasional pseudo dragon. It's like a meow, but not quite.
Fighting with the snakes under the hood.
Yeah, every once in a while though, he'll get his stat and
No, he'll climb up and crawl in, and you'll hear and he'll just like scamper out, and then just head over to the Reynolds because he was closest to the fire, assumedly.
Alternating freezing a roof and casting a new bonfire.
Just like between the two. If there's too much movement, he'll just nestle in with Kira, who just seems to be like holding her eyes shut and just trying really hard to sleep. And if with Mikros there, she'll just like hug him like a comfort animal.
Is Ponos all right? I'll yell out into the storm.
Dragging the thing back, and you can get out of the wind again. You make me one more strength save.
12.
It's harder when you're carrying a sack of person and bars.
You almost both lose your footing, and worse yet, your grip on your cocooned friend, but are able to basically dive back in under cover of this tree, as you can all like for a moment hold your breath. And that's when you hear the distinct sound of like cracking tree
I swear. to God.
right above you. Oh, hey, you made the roll, man.
Don't you blame me.
I can and I will. As the tree above you, you watch as you can all each individually turn and watch as the roots, with another strong pull. Actually, I can blame Mr. Rogers. As the entire thing starts pitching towards you all. And you can just, it like seems to lean before finally, gosh, what was
Snapping?
it? Not quite snapping just yet, or at least it would be. Defera, you have enough wherewithal to look up in the last second with that 11, and you can easily see what appears to be a large creature just perched on it, pushes off into the air. With as it's lost in the thunder, and what you can only assume is partially thunder, partially as the entire tree cracks and begins falling onto all of you. What's everyone doing? And I'll tell you the rules as I figure that out.
Diving out of the way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, diving out of the way.
Diving out of the way,
Yeah.
dexterity save.
Okay. Is anyone frozen?
One.
Like, shit, Kira.
17.
I have a question.
You have a question.
Is Kira moving?
Kira, let me make a roll if Kira heard. That's a good question. She's had her eyes closed. She's trying to shut up the situation. Let me just make sure. Oh, gotta do that, of course. It's fairly wisdomous. No, doesn't
Okay.
appear to have noticed.
I'm going to grab her by like the front of her robe, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what she's wearing.
Yeah,
but-
she's wearing a very typical like female toga, covering this way and going down to it, but it's basically like a short skirt.
I'm going
you know,
to just
style.
grab her using my Pythorian borrowed string and just kind of try to whip her like out. of the
Sure.
way.
You can make me make a dexterity save for yourself, and whatever your result, add your strength modifier for Kira's save. Ponos and Defera, what are you guys doing?
Because that was my other thing.
Yeah, you're,
Sorry.
You're cocoon.
My
What are we
plan
doing with the
was-
cocoon?
So,
Go, just
I
real
was
quick.
perfectly sound asleep, having a great time, not getting hurt. These two bozos come and drag me out, smash my face on a big pile of metal, and drag me under a falling tree.
Uh,
DM.
Yes, hi, that's me this time.
Sorry. My
No, you-
plan was to chuck Kira out of the way and do what I can to huck Ponos. I am less concerned about myself at this
Okay.
point.
In that case, you can make me an athletics or other strength associated roll for however you want to deal with this for Kira. And then you can make me a strength save to see how Thronos goes. 21. Yeah, you grab her and just push her with a sudden burst. Leo, you were diving out of the way. Remind me of your result.
17.
Okay. Did you consider saving Ponos? That is the
The-
person you're dragging?
The only one still under the falling tree is Ponos, who you drug over to it.
Well, we have to hear from Defera.
He's gonna roll onto his front and then like a worm, like just really slowly, like.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Would it be possible to use fairy fire on a falling tree? Or not fairy fire, feather fall. I am sleep deprived, if you could not tell.
Featherfall, remind me
It
of the wording
affects
of it.
creatures, so it really probably doesn't. I was like, it's worth a shot.
As magical as this wood is, you dive out of the way and can hold out your hands, and the magic kind of flutters before you, to no effect as this tree continues to fall.
So, yeah, well, if he's limped and, like, not moving, because, again, we didn't know Ponos, what his status was, I would have maybe drug him with me.
Sure, make me another dexterity save, and you'll take the lower result of the two. And then I need to
Okay.
know what Defera is doing.
that would be completely contingent on what everyone else is doing. So if Ponos is not being pulled, she would pull Ponos. If Kira does not make it, she would grab Kira. If Eliana has not moved, she would push Eliana out of the way. She would attempt to make sure everybody is out of the way, and then Misty step herself away.
So it seems like Kira's been pushed aside, holding Meat Gross out of the way of the trees. Eliana's done less than ideal to get Ponos out, but with Leo, he's able to kind of complete the pull and move both himself and Ponos out of the way. Really, the only one under the tree at this point is you and Eliana.
I will push Eliana out of the way and then Misty Step.
Sure. Make me an initiative roll for that. See if you can pull off both those, or otherwise I'm going to make you choose. I'm going to need one action.
She will push Eliana out of the way.
Okay. Eliana, you feel a sudden jerk behind you as you attempt to give Ponos a push, and you kind of find yourself in the knees down in the dirt and slop, unable to find your footing. And with a sudden push from behind, you can kind of take the momentum and tumble forward out of the way. That tree is going to come down, however. Let's see. Make sure this is right. It's GM roll, right? Not DM roll?
It's, I mean, if you choose /GM roll, or /GM roll, whatever.
Don't worry. I got it. Defera. I'm going to message you a number. Please take this in damage. As the tree comes down on you. Can anyone let me know really quick if you went to the left? Hand up.
Sure.
1, 2. Okay. And if you were to the right? So Leo, Ponos, you're on the right as well, given Leo pulled you. And Eliana, I think you'd be on the right as well. You'd shove Kira to the left with the 2 sirens, then you try to get to the other way to help continue to push Ponos, but...
Okay.
Leo and Eliana.
Huh.
Well, rather, Leo and Eliana and Ponos, if you are ever going to metamorphosize out of your chrysalis here. Farrah, can you please let them know what they see?
Yeah, you will see Defera dead.
What?
I think Leo rushes to the tree and tries to push it or lift it or something.
Giant check.
Same, because I'm just kicked me like right on the ass and pushed me out of the way. So I'm definitely gonna see what did that.
Strength check, please.
With
13.
assist from me,
Oh, sweet.
because I am.
Add your also add that D4 because I'll allow you to get that in.
Leo, you're supposed to do better.
Yeah, I was supposed to do better. But yeah, I can roll that D4 real quick.
So,
So 17. Yeah.
You can start to move the tree and start rolling off.
Do the people on the left see this at all?
You see a fallen tree.
Okay.
It is quite large, as that is something you were looking for in a tree.
Thurnos will push himself up. Did everyone make it out?
Maybe I don't, it just does. Maybe they're on the other side. Let's try to get over around or something. I mean, like in terms of length of the tree, how like close are we to either like the top of the tree or the roots? Like, would it be faster to go around or to find a way over?
It's a large. Well, to be fair, you were at the roots of the tree, so you would go around the roots. That'd be probably a faster way.
Okay. Yep, just going to sprint around.
Turn
Okay.
the corner, take a quick assessment of where everyone is.
You
Where's-
see
Where's
both.
Tefera?
You see a Leo and Eliana lifting or attempting to lift a tree, getting a bit of progress. And you see a Ponos burrito. Sorry, you were saying where's Tefera?
And just like under a struggled voice, just she pushed me out. I don't know if she got out.
Yeah, and I think Leo's just like kind of yelling her name, just trying to, with all his might, get this just tree off.
Can I upcast magic missile into the tree?
Sure thing. Yeah, you just as you're all standing here, the wind blowing against you, rain absolutely drenching everyone in this party. You hold forth a hand and just blast away a lot of wood, clearing a good amount of space. It hits exactly where you want it to, creating a bit of room for you to see Tefera's crumpled form under the weight of the tree. The two of you, what's everyone else doing in this moment? Really quick.
I mean, as soon as Calliope sees Tefera, like, she's just gonna, like, say, please. Like, that's her healing word. Just, please. And try to cast it, see if it does anything.
Tefera, would you like to answer that question? What? You roll me a healing word.
Yep.
for your-
And
quick.
of course, I'm going to cast it at second level. Let me cast that real fast. 10.
10 healing. Wow. As you were doing that, both Leo and Eliana, you are going to feel a sudden additional lift of weight. As you can see, Kira is just gripping and trying as hard as she can to push up the tree with you. The muscles that appear in her don't look like they can hold much, obviously. She's the poetess. But she's also there with you. So I'll give you both another roll. And after that, I'm going to have Tefera tell me how that healing goes.
Can we roll separately? Because I have been rolling terribly.
You can choose one of you to roll
But
with
here, let
advantage.
me do it.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
It's a straight strength check, or
Just a straight strength check in this case. You are just...
cool. I still have power. Python.
Power of Pythor! But you can also take advantage, and why don't you add on Leo's strength? I don't even need it.
Yeah, no, I am
This giant
Pythor.
tree between the three of you, and anyone else who wants to even join into the last bit, lifts and just spins along the along this kind of axis of the divot it had next to it that you had made into a bit of a home, and just carrying it slightly up, you can kind of get it off of her body, and the healing magic you can see through a quick quick word reaches out, covering Tefera's body. Tefera, what's the situation with that?
Yeah, you will see her gasp, probably spit up or puke up a bunch of blood. There is probably blood coming from her ears and her nose, but she will spit all of that out and attempt to pull herself, but
You don't feel
because
nearly
that's
as much.
not going to do that much, but she's alive now. And not doing death saves, so that's good.
If going to try to like help her out from under the tree as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the weight has been removed from your body enough that you're able to pull and squirm your legs out from under. Now the only question is, what now?
I think, if she still seems very injured, I think Leo comes over and kind of says, "I'm sorry," as he lays his hands on you and uses all his mana pool to heal you as much as possible. So he uses all 20.
All right. So you see the wounds, Defera, you can feel your internal wounds heal. You're coughing less blood and finding less as you breathe, less difficulty rather. You still have a wild storm raging all around you. So I gotta ask what the plan is there.
Two questions. One, did Calliope see the one like flying form that like kind of sprung off of the tree as it fell? And two, do we see any harpies now?
Fucking certainly not. But
good for them.
I'll say the fact that you rolled a perception check, yes. You were able to see a large form strike the top of the tree and just kind of depart with a quick winning strike. Though, I'd say those of you with the passive perception of around 15, if you have anyone around here, how's that? Yeah, Eliana, you still hear this growling amidst the thunder overhead, like something is around and you don't understand what. The need for cover becomes more apparent in your head, is all I'll say.
After Leo just gives his healing to Defera, Eliana's gonna cast off her helmet and just wrap her arms around Defera and say, "That was stupid of you." Just like kind of trying to hold back tears. It's like it was supposed to be Eliana and not her. It's how she feels.
She would probably just kind of lean into it a bit and not say much because she doesn't have the wherewithal to process currently to go from dead to alive quickly.
We need to get under something, and Fear, I know that you're probably not too excited about the prospect, but that gap under the root ball in the tree makes for a pretty decent shelter right now.
Yeah, everyone move. Come on.
Back under
try
the
it.
tree.
That's
Back under the murder tree.
But safely this time.
you move far enough away from the bloodstains, it's probably fine.
I imagine there's a little bit of a gap there between the root ball and the trunk.
Yes, there is. And you can all cram your way in there, providing a bit of solace for the evening. And Kira will be the last in, holding Mikros, and she's gone and grabbed the two shields of Leo and Eliana and kind of just stabs them both into the ground and huddles into whatever pile of bodies you have going. Someone grab Ponos, right?
Yeah, I would have just dragged that son of a bitch.
Okay. It's still tough with the heavy wind, but as the sound of the storm above you continues, you can all now hear a distinct roar overhead. That is different from the thunder. I don't have the sound file for it. But
I was thinking it couldn't get any worse.
question is, can any of you sleep tonight?
No.
Not now, I'm out of charges.
Not a terrible idea. I'll cast sleep centered on us.
Okay, roll some d8s. Are you upcasting?
Probably a good idea, yeah. Cast it. No, it didn't go. All right.
You probably shouldn't have healed the fair if you wanted to sleep.
Well, it'd be good if the fair slept.
It would be good.
I'm
if
gonna
the fair
get
slept.
some sleep.
There we go.
That's what I'm
5
hearing.
d8s. 31.
Ooh, okay.
So how many hit points does the lowest person have right now?
11.
11? 10 left. Vera, do you have 10 or less?
20 left.
Oh, 20 left. Okay. So, Ponos is the only one that goes back to sleep.
I never got out of bed.
Yeah, like we need to unwrap him. He's going to have just an issue.
How
be
come,
fine.
despite none of this being my fault, I haven't been an inconvenience in the slightest? I'm still the problem and feel like I've been the main.
I didn't say you're the
issue here.
problem. You're just, it's easier to deal with you if you're not a chrysalis.
He's done nothing.
Exactly. He's done nothing. That's
In a
the
good
issue.
way.
But
when
he
I do
got hurt.
things, it's my fault. When I do nothing, it's my fault. Even when I'm asleep.
You're cursed.
just
That's
can't
the whole
win.
point.
That is fair.
To be fair, I much preferred the Ponos who was doing nothing. So sleeping
Man,
was
it's been
good.
so
I'm
hard. I've
confused
had
why
so
we
many
woke him up.
plans.
Well, you didn't have a
It's been a
choice.
It's
nightmare.
an accident. He might or might not have a mild to severe concussion.
Best thing he can
I've
do is
had
go
to
right
sit
back
here.
to sleep.
Yeah, it's right
not
back to
talk
sleep.
about-
We'll deal with it in the morning.
Any of my amazing plans that I've come up with just sat in silence.
Well, I was
Well,
hoping more than just one of us would have gone out to that. I can try one more time. I'm gonna cast it again.
okay.
I've got
One of
three.
you's already. Yeah, one of
Here's
you's already asleep. So
Might as well. Oh, there should have been 2 more d8s on that.
oh yeah,
Oh,
roll
yeah,
2 more d8s
do
for the
it.
initial.
I'm gonna do 2 more d8s in the hope that it gets enough to. Okay, that only been 4 more, so that only been
So,
34. So that was
Well,
14
30,
left.
30, 35 with the 11 the Pono said?
Bonus had 11, so, yeah.
It would have just been 14.
So just 14. Nope, that's not enough, but close. But as for the second one, that is 5 plus 3 more. 31. So that's enough to. Who has the least amount? I have 18 hit points.
You're gonna
So
knock yourself out.
Thranos knocks himself out of asleep. Thranos and Ponos will sleep tonight.
Okay.
I
That's
tried.
good.
I tried.
Just one more question. Does this roaring seem familiar at all, or no?
Does this storm seem familiar?
No, the roar.
Oh yeah. No, you've heard this in your nightmares.
Great, cool.
Let me check something really.
We love to see that.
We'd love to see the trauma come back, right?
I love the image that Threnos knocks himself out, and then all the rest of you are like huddled there, and the fire just goes out, and you just look to the sleeping Threnos, and then like the drips start coming through, and you're like, oh, could really do with some fire and/or ice right now. Oh well.
Bonfire
rest-
is concentration, so it goes out as soon as I do.
Yes, so there's no bonfire in your hovel, and the rest of you would be very cold if you didn't start to hear a soft humming from Kira. Eyes closed and still clearly bracing against the storm wall that you built for yourselves. But you only hear the first few notes, like counting down before surgery. You never reach 0. As despite everything, you do find time for rest. And I think this would be the great place for a first intermission. We will be right back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around thus far. Please go get some liquids, remove some liquids, do whatever you need to do to keep yourself ready for the rest of this session. Because, as usual, storms end, and we'll see what happens when this one does right after this quick break. HP, please take us intermission. Welcome back, everybody, to more Oathsworn. Our party has, well, you all passed out because some people are really good at casting sleep. But you awaken, and each of you huddled up tightly against the other. A lot of your legs probably cramping, muscles strained from the compression about you. But dawn cracks through between the two shields in the tree. And you're basically all waking. The only person who does not seem to be rousing at this time is Kira herself.
She passed out.
She's super fast out at the moment. Yeah, let me change that up a little bit because I want this one.
I think Calliope will get up and start preparing breakfast then.
Okay. Yeah, you can easily kind of dislodge the two shields with a decent enough kick.
Are there any birds to catch?
None fly into your hand.
Okay.
And the general mood of the forest seems like a giant storm just passed through. So there's a lot of leaves and branches and everything thrown about. I don't know, you live on the East Coast, you know what it's like for a hurricane to rip through here. Effectively, this was like a hurricane.
Any abandoned bird nests around have like a Shrek moment?
Roll me.
That wasn't abandoned. She blew up the bird with her singing.
Roll me a. I wish there was like a luck thing. Roll me a D100.
Okay.
Petrichor everywhere.
71.
Oh, just loads of. Yes, you can actually find, scouring through a lot of these branches, you can find either some critters who weren't so fortunate, or also some abandoned nests of varying bird types. You probably shouldn't think too heavily about what kind, but they got yolk, and they got the whites. So they're probably edible.
All right. Well, yeah. I'll start making breakfast.
All right.
Where's the group?
I'll be using shape water to try and get the water out of everybody's clothing and.
Yeah, you can just like move the water off of people, like in some Avatar thing, we're just pulling the moisture off of something.
Like the scroll.
Push and pull the water out of this.
But so we have Thylea setting up the drying line, and Calliope getting breakfast started. What's everyone else doing?
If Kira's still knocked out, I'm gonna check up on Dafira, since I kind of owe her life debt.
Sure. How do you approach that?
I don't know how. What's Dafira doing this morning?
An excellent question.
She is just wrapped up in her cloak, probably, I don't know. I'm assuming we were all sleeping like nuts to butts, like in a line. So she probably just, whoever she was sleeping with, probably just like rolled over the opposite direction. And just kind of like silently with her eyes closed. She's not necessarily sleeping, but she's probably just continuing to rest as much as as possible. But she's not necessarily asleep or anything.
And she'll just quietly say, Farah?
She will kind of, she'll open her eyes and kind of just give you like a nod and say good morning.
You all right?
I seem to be now after some sort of induced sleep and everybody's healing. Yeah.
I didn't really get the chance last night to thank you for pushing me out of the way.
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
I don't know. Why didn't you just run like everybody else?
Well, I suppose to some degree, I just feel like we're all working very independently and for a lot of different reasons and goals. And I mean, I don't know. To some degree, we all have to kind of start working together. And to be fair, I really thought that was going to go differently. I was like hoping there was going to be time for me to cast a spell. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. It didn't go the way I thought. Kind of like most of the time when I do things. But we all seem to be very motivated by different stuff. And I guess it was just kind of my way of saying you're just as important as the rest of everybody.
And she'll like kind of hold herself, like kind of bringing herself in smaller. Well, I appreciate that. I know you're right. We've not all been on the same page. Me especially. So I want to at least apologize for that.
I don't know if apologies are necessary. I mean, it's appreciated, but, we'll just keep trying. That's all you can do with people. And she's going to uncomfortably saddle up next to you for warmth and heat, whether you technically really want them to or not, because she is still very tired and just died. So she's just going to make herself comfortable, probably put her weird snake head on your shoulder, and close her eyes again.
Oh yeah, she owes you life debt. She's totally gonna let that happen, but also like she feels kind of shitty for just she's just been going off on everybody more or less this whole time, and it's just like a realization of, hey, maybe don't be that way. Like having that connection to people is okay.
Yeah, she will attempt to like hold that space, but is not going to push or pry or do anything like that.
I think Leo sees this and just like has just a big smile on his face, and then So yeah, the tree's down. So I think he goes to where Ponos's little site was with all his stuff that we left, and I hope it's still there, and go pick up the rest of his things before he wakes up.
If there were anything particularly lightweight that you didn't keep on your person, it's probably gone. But if you put it in the stack, it's only lightly toppled over and keeping all of your stuff roughly in place.
Yeah, he just used it to put everything that is in his backpack there, which happens to be everything.
It's basically weighted down by a toppled tower now, but still there. I don't know if you had any loose papers in the stack somewhere in there, but you know.
The only thing made of paper is my belt.
No. It's heavyweight for a reason. So yeah, I grab his stuff and then hurry back and just put it right next to him. And I think I just then leaving to his concussion, like you do. Or let him rest, I mean.
Okay. The morning continues. The silence of the forest, only something that a great storm can incur around you. But just like usual, the sounds pick up. Anyone paying particular attention to the hole you've made, or the hobble that's been created here, we'll see Kira eventually stretch and bleary-eyed kind of and exit out. Yeah, well, that was fun.
You all right?
Me, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Thank
not
you
like
for your help. Oh, go ahead.
No, you.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna thank her for helping us, and say you're pretty strong for a bard.
You don't know what you're talking about. I'm a petite, frail thing, man.
But even then, you still put all your might to help us. I really appreciate it.
Well, felt kind of bad. Anyway, before anyone says anything melodramatic or, conciliatory to me, what's for breakfast?
Gesture to the eggs.
Ooh.
I've made omelets.
Fantastic. And she'll just go and secure a little section of it for herself and kind of just scrape it onto a small little travel plate, obviously. It's good. Very eggy.
I mean, I would hope so.
It's probably not poisonous either, which is good.
Yeah, I was considering adding mushrooms, but then thought that was an awful idea, especially considering the Thay are also here. Bad idea.
Don't want to do that. I mean, we'd find the Thay, but not how we want to find the Thay, This is good. Well, Josh, you seem really down. What's up?
And Eliana will just kind of look to, just kind of, without moving the head, just kind of move the eyes and glance down to Defeater. I'm surprised you slept so long today.
Well, someone had to keep watch. First you were asleep.
You never sleep in.
Oh, I sleep in a whole bunch in houses and inns sometimes.
You know that's not what I meant.
No, but I'm going to be a little shit about it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't also get crushed.
The only thing I want to crush is your. The only thing I want to crush me is your thighs.
Okay.
Oh, you're awake now. There you go.
Just like an absolute like Eliana just cannot believe the words she was just forced to hear.
Well, once everyone's up and at 'em, we should probably get moving. I don't know. I guess we don't technically have a timeline, but we kind of do. End of the Oath of Peace, destruction of the entire land of Thylea by the Titans, that kind of stuff, No biggie if that's no longer a pressing concern for you all anymore, though.
No, it would be a good idea to get going.
What's up?
Suppose we have some goatlings to find.
Well, we should probably wake up Ponos, though.
I don't think we should let either Leo or Eliana do it.
If it wasn't for us, he would have been just lost to the storm.
He seemed comfortable.
To be fair, I also don't think that should be my job as well.
I will head over and crack open the cocoon.
And a beautiful butterfly.
Do I get big, beautiful fairy butterfly wings from the Enchanted Forest?
No, you're very lucky you don't have pneumonia.
Every time.
No,
I
he
can
probably
roll a
has
con
pneumonia.
save. Roll a 0.
No, you're fine. No disease will assail you at this moment.
You might have a bump on your head large enough to be a unicorn, though.
Whoa. Or a tricorn.
He does already have 2 horns.
Ponos. You alright?
It's very wet in here.
Yeah, you kind of sealed up the water with you.
Yeah, it's less than ideal, but
I will use shape water to pull the puddle of swamp water out of the bottom of your.
that is a strange feeling, but not an unpleasant one.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Just as surprising as a curious wet patch. Suddenly, the sudden embodiment of dryness is equally warm.
Yeah.
But fortunately less mysterious in this case. But not doing much for me wanting to get out of it now, because everything here looks shit.
You are now drier in your bear pelt than anything out here.
Yeah. Besides, we've got a weird goat people to go and annoy or whatever. I guess we're doing that. So
We have to find some weird, annoying goat people.
yeah, somewhere. But and then good.
They brought your stuff, so I think we're good.
Yep, thanks. That's it's real spiffy. I'll put it all back in the bag and then carry it.
So, Ponos, any ideas what we should do when we get to the goat people?
Nope, no ideas. So, good chat. Thanks for the lack of sog, and keep doing you.
Not awkward at all. Good chat.
Good chat. Cool. Thanks.
Ponos is up.
Yep, I'm up. Yep.
He awakens. The sleeper has awake. Sorry, that's something I heard once.
So, Liana, you've had luck so far finding these goat people. How are you at tracking after a storm?
Well, it's gonna be hard with all the foliage and everything just thrown everywhere in this woods. But try. And with that, she'll like kind of nudge a little bit towards Defira, like, hey, we gotta get up. She'll stand up, offer a hand to get Defira to her feet. Put on her helmet, grab her trusty spur and her collection of trusty spears at this point. Just missing a bone one. We're gonna make one. And she will call upon Valis again with enhanced ability. And we're gonna make our way downtown.
Okay. So make me that survival check.
Beep boop.
With a
Thank you,
21.
Valis. You're the best.
You say that out loud?
I'm not foolish. That was me out of character.
Okay. Because it would have listened and responded.
I do not need a kick in the proverbial pants from Kira and or a smiting from Mitros, Pythor, Vulcan. Yep, those are the other three.
Mitros, Pythor, Vulcan, or smiting from Kira as well. The
Yeah,
goddess.
Kira's right there, so I mean, she's just gonna kick me like right in, right in the bits. So.
She's the poet.
Mm-hmm.
She's just named for.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
I'll still believe that 100%.
You continue on and are able to identify the tracks again, kind of almost by pure chance. The storm kind of clearing a bit of brush that seemed to have cleared through. The mud prints being only deepened with wells of water, but still distinctly Goatling-esque. And you get the trail again. You're on your way. About an hour passes. Again, an hour and a half around then. As you find your way to a clearing. With a large, dead, burnt out tree in the center. And a giant, young dragon roosted atop it. Several bodies chained along the side of the tree. Each, their heads removed, aside from one at its center, pinned to the tree with the head of a donkey.
There's just like a head of a donkey.
Yes. The rider on the back of the dragon, dressed in the regalia of the Order of Sidon, says nothing immediately. Only, but as the dragon flaps its wings, "My lord takes his offerings, so unjustly stolen," and then takes the sky. The bodies seem all connected by chains or just by sheer carnage. Not all complete, some limbs completing a kind of elliptical circle, from what you can tell. Another central one brought directly around the tree.
Eliana's going to take a hot second to have a realization to think that these are those missing kids, isn't it?
You can check out the bodies.
She's
Yeah,
having
Clyde's
that
gone up
realization.
there.
She's going to fucking dash.
Heading up, you can certainly head up to the group. They don't make me an investigation check for just checking them all out.
Oh, 16.
16 and 15. There doesn't seem to be any you're looking over these bodies and the parts of bodies and just scattered gore across this field, and it is terrible. And you're going with the assumption that these are people from Estoria. These are teenagers, but the bodies don't quite match up. The form of them, I mean, it's hard to tell with even lightly decaying corpses usually, but some of these are too aged. You will notice the theme that, looking over them, they're all wearing white robes and tunics, or whatever the limbs can cover. Something that reminds you distinctly of the followers of Helios.
Oh man, the
donkey heads.
hippies.
Yep.
Is anyone else doing anything in this moment to investigate the scene or do anything?
Bruh. That complete useless Titan took the weird cultish like people in lieu of her.
Eliana, something doesn't quite add up with your 16. Can't. Something about the clothes. Throws you for a bit of a loop. That's all. Something in your brain is saying, these clothes, something's wrong with them.
Tefera is going to very uncomfortably begin to collect body parts and or bodies into, she's going to take her robe off for the first time ever and start piling them onto the robe to carry them back to Estoria so that they can be put to rest appropriately.
Okay. Very quietly assists with that.
I think now would be a great time, Tefera. What do you actually look like without your robe?
Yeah, so for the most part, do you see a normal human with orange and yellow hair, but every once in a while when you see her bend forward or lift something up, you see just a couple of small snake creatures kind of like wiggle their way through her hair, and you can hear her mumble under her breath telling them to go back inside, basically. And she's trying to make them, her head is not covered fully in snakes. It is not a thing that is so in your face, but you definitely, for the first time, will see them very clearly.
And if I understand this correctly, it's the first time a lot of people might have seen them, other than a few scant glances from a certain siren.
Correct, yeah.
Everyone, yeah, You recognize probably the first time that Tefera is indeed a Medusa.
Is there? I know it sounds like there was just carnage.
Yes.
Is there one at all that has like some level of their clothing intact more so?
The ones around the trees appear to have had only their heads removed. Their arms each seem to be tightened together in a circle. And honestly, with everyone getting a good idea, you can approximate about this is the design.
Mm-hmm.
Divine symbol of Sidon. Jesus, HP, you got me. You read this round. With occasionally, moment of the whole damn thing, come on. With some lines reaching it.
Oh man, get that guy some dry eyes. Or no, what the fuck? What was it called? It had Ben Stein. God damn it. Clear eyes for dry eyes. There it is. Not sponsored.
My brand.
My bride. I'm gonna kind of just look. Calliope, do you? Something's off, and I'm thankful that this doesn't seem to be the missing people from Estoria, but well, at least not the children. But something's not quite right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Something feels off, but I'm not entirely sure what. Like, do we have more of a hint of like what about the clothes is off? Like,
It's just registering to you as wrong at the moment.
Okay.
But if you want to make another dedicated check, I would allow you to do so.
Yeah, this will kind of like put things together because a lot of things can be off about clothes. It's like, is
That's true.
the stitching different?
It's more so like, as you're both looking over it, you can recognize like these aren't the teenagers. This is not our initial suggestion is correct. But it's and like then your next thing like, oh, these are the cultists, but something is addition like just pinging is wrong. But getting into that fully, I'm gonna need a new roll.
Okay. So investigation.
Investigation. I'd even accept a history check.
Okay, those are the same for me. So we're just gonna try investigation.
I will. Oh, okay.
And I'll add my +2 from chat to make that 16.
Eliana, are you going to contribute to this effort as well?
Well, I had history, but I don't have investigation because I could have assisted with history.
Oh.
I'd say you can put your heads together, and the two of you will recognize these clothes aren't exactly right. For one, the splatter, I guess the splatter report in a very forensic way doesn't quite match what should have been a long flight and certainly a fight from these people. And also the donkey doesn't just quite have the same look in its eye, especially because one of them is definitely glassy.
Can I check the donkey? Is it Apollo?
You know what, Theo? You're exactly the kind of person who would recognize a donkey's face if you thought it was your friend. This is not Apollo.
Okay. Yeah, I think I even verbalized that. It's like this is not Apollo.
But it's damn close. And that's something you can all approximate. This is a message.
Threat.
You don't know who these people are? They might be from Estoria. They might be from the city of Mitros. They might just have been unfortunate enough travelers to think they could get out of the storm in time. Hell, they could even be a few drunk assholes from the sour vintage. Doesn't matter now, I suppose, in a way. But they're dead, and they were meant to tell you of Sidon's presence. That's very clear. But Tefera, you are able to gather parts enough to put a few people together. You find, and I hate to put it this way, but as cruel and terrible as the Order of Sidon is, there is a methodology. The body parts do seem to go together in forms. Everyone's close together to themselves. So constructing a full person is easy enough. A few pieces might be missing here and there, but
To fear there's too many to take back.
She will kind of like nod and acknowledge that. And kind of just start digging a couple of different spots to do it herself then.
I think Leo helps.
Is cremation acceptable burial in this culture?
cremation with 2 coins on the eyes is the ritualistic burial by most cultural groups to pay Lutherius tax.
Then she would do whatever is socially acceptable.
There's enough fallen trees, you can certainly begin creating a large enough pyre, as you certainly observed one with the Centaur tribe. It seems some things transcend racial groups, or I guess culturals as well. And Kira will assist as well. Is anyone pointedly doing something else, I suppose is the question.
The only thing that I will note is during this, Thrynos will kind of catch eyes with Defira at some point and glance at the snakes coming out of her hair. But not say anything about it.
Yeah, as she was collecting all the bodies, is that sort of started to not pan out, she would have very quickly put her cloak back on.
Okay. One last call. Anyone else doing anything else? Otherwise, I will assume we spend a good next portion building a large pyre. And honestly, amongst the various bits and bobs, you're capable enough of finding, 2 copper pieces per eye. So
I think Defira has some on her. She would have just given up what she has as well.
okay. If you need an exact number, not that I think you would, and honestly, I don't think it's worth it. You're able to easily enough cover each person and light the bonfire up in this large clearing. Easily enough it takes between you all of magic and capabilities. Even if this wood was wet and damp, it catches light easily enough. Your pyromaniac, Kira, makes sure of that. And you can all watch in solemn silence as the bodies burn, given proper respect, given the donkey's head, wherever the rest of the donkey may be. As the pyre burns down, it's grown to be about mid-afternoon. I don't know if you need a real-world example, about like 5 o'clock. And Kira, understanding her role a little bit, okay. Well, I think it's about time. We've got to move. Glad it's not Apollo. She whispers over to Leo.
I think we should get at least a little distance away from this. For our own sakes.
Yeah.
Sidon takes and takes and takes. Given a chance, he'll take from each of us.
All right. Well, you continue on. The trail's still very present. And you push forward, following a trail of some goatlings who will certainly not ruin the solemn mood. Honestly, it's kind of surprising because you see a few just there beyond the clearing. In fact, you smell a fire. It's kind of crazy how immediately those there are goatlings and a taller figure beside them. As you make your way just past the clearing down the trail. To be fair, Eliana, the trail continues on. But the group of a small group of goatlings, about 4 or so, as you can tell, as they merrily dance around, and a singular large horned figure, which I will just give you a light description of now. Male formed, but very clearly I believe the term is an Apollon build in statues. They've been cutting, so to speak. They are shredded with only the slightest of loincloths. If you've been on Lucas server, you've seen this in the art.
Oh my god.
But not quite to that extent. If anyone wants to make me an Arcana or Nature check, they can do so now to identify this creature, because it looks like a satyr, only they don't share the furry legs. They appear almost human. I see a 10. That's enough to recognize a Minid. A 14. You know the raving ones of Lutheria. They are thay. Ponos, you're pretty sure this might be a satyr who shaved their legs, but also you've heard of tales of the Maenads. Raucous, wild folk.
Who's to say what a satyr really is?
Honestly, yeah, it's hard to dismiss the legend from the myth. But this single Maenad and 4 goatlings sit around a fire, roasting what appears to be a stout, short human leg. Or at least just a leg. Probably not human. It's too short for human. Unless there was a very buff teenager or child.
Does anyone want to say hello?
Yep. And Eliana's going to kind of march on up there.
Okay, what do you do? Because as the goatlings notice you, they'll scour behind the maided, who will simply kind of, in his reclined position, put a hand forward. I see a beautiful wolf approaching. Would you care to share the company of my fire?
No. I'm
Then a
looking for the
meal.
goatlings that stole a horn from Estoria.
Hmm.
Are they in your
Horn.
little gaggle here?
Gaggle. Ooh. Gaggle of goatlings. That's good. She has jokes. You should sit. I'm sure we can have some fun together. Oh, get a lot
You're not
of
my
fun.
type.
Oh, but you're mine.
Revolting.
That's my type.
She's just gonna like internally vomit.
Anyway, no, I don't have a horn. Well, stick around a little bit longer, maybe I will.
Gross barf.
But we are just about to lay in for some good eats. I'm an excellent chef. I serve the hot meat.
I think I was almost like blinking and just surprise on how gross they're being, and just like they don't seem to comprehend the level of no think. Yeah, no, we're kind of on a thing here that your little friends need to let us know where it is, or just give it back, make everything easy.
I told you I don't have a horn at the moment, other than, well, he motions towards the goat horns on his head. These rip for your pleasure, of course.
Not your horns, you troglodyte person.
Oh, no.
I cannot understand your idiocy. But
Yes, please, more.
oh god, she's getting mad.
Welcome to the Feywild.
I know. I know so much about the goddamn face.
Well, you know,
It's so awful.
it's a mated. M-A-E. Mighted? Who knows? They don't.
Well, I'm not
Look.
here for you. I'm here for them.
She has ball legs. You don't want to talk to her.
They're unfortunately not quite good conversationalists if you don't like being scolded. They don't have a horn, though. I'd suggest continuing on to that stuffy old temple. Or you could stay here, like I said. Anyone's free to join. Bring your friends.
Are we seeing this at all?
Oh,
Like,
you can
interaction?
easily see. This is right on the side of the road.
Okay,
Oh,
can I just vibe check this? Like, I know
vibe
if I'm
comes
checking
back
the face, gonna be like, yeah, it's like that was like, is he telling the truth? Like, do we know?
Sure,
I know if I'm
insight,
checking the
insight
face,
check,
this
insight
is
check
gonna be
away.
so
Yeah.
bad. This is not gonna work, but it's worth a shot. Miracles can happen, right?
Hmm?
But today's not that day. That's a 12.
The secret is this guy is being so upfront with all of his immediate brain thoughts that, yeah, you guess he's probably telling the truth. But, yeah, he motions to the rest of you. Anyone else want to suck along this meat?
I
Points
think not.
He points towards which you're clearly, as you get closer, realizing is a dwarf leg.
Can I cast Enthrall?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay.
What is the language on that spell?
It should be more than a 10. You weave a distracting string of words causing creatures of your choice that you can see within range and that can hear you make a wisdom save. If they can't be charmed, they succeed. If they fail, any attempts to perceive a creature other than me until the spell ends or until they can no longer hear me is at disadvantage. So essentially, it just takes the attention away from everyone but me.
Okay. That's going to be a 5 on the save.
Okay. And it would be the goatlings too.
Oh,
but they're less important.
Sure thing. The goatlings are just cheering amongst themselves at the moment. But let me produce some rolls there. 7, 5, and 3. And let me get that last one out before I change this to always whisper. 12.
So one of the goatlings passes. The other ones are essentially Thranos will step forward and while he does, kind of weave some magic to get the creepy gaze off of his friends and allies.
Mm-hmm. The creepy gaze is on you now.
Fantastic.
Oh. Hi there. I didn't remember ordering wings with this meal.
Well, they came with the meal anyway, I suppose. You said there are other goatlings about. Are they at the temple then?
Of course. They do love to congregate around her.
Around who?
Oh, you should go and find out. She's quite a good time.
We plan on finding out, but sometimes we'd like to know in advance.
It's not fun, though, is it? We could have some fun here if you wanted.
Not everyone enjoys surprises.
Cool.
Why don't you just tell me who's there?
Oh, you don't know already? Big, strong person like yourself.
He will look down at his lanky, tiny arms and strength of 7.
Just enough. Well, if you must know, it's that horrid little cult leader she's got going on. Always bringing a bunch of silly humans into the woods. Never having fun with those of us who are far more interesting. She's great for parties, though. Can't fault her for that.
Well, I suppose we'll just have to go and find out.
Or you could stay here.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen.
Are you sure? I could do dance for you.
That's quite all right. Let's not and say you did.
Ooh, I'd love to not you.
Well, the temple. Which way to that particular good time?
No, the only good time's right here.
You told me it would be a good time if I went to the temple.
Not only for a party, but she's doing initiation. It's not nearly as fun.
Sounds ominous, though.
Ominous, yes. Fun, no. I could initiate you if you wanted. It's so easy. Just stay for dinner. I'll give you dessert.
Well, I think we've said no enough ways. So we're going to head to the temple.
It's my favorite.
You just enjoy your goatlings.
You know I will. And we'll enjoy this luscious little bit of meat here. I hope you don't die when you go in there.
That's kind of the general goal, is to not die.
Well, have fun. And if you don't, I suppose, well, I'll find a way to see you later, some way or another, I'm sure.
I think it'd be best for all of us if we don't find you later.
Your choice. And sure enough, he'll motion towards the meat, and they'll begin laying in, which is entirely grotesque and terrible as you to watch a dwarf's leg flesh be brought into. But they seem distracted for the moment, at least. And you're quite glad that you burned that pyre when you did. But you push on. And certainly enough, it takes you about another 2 hours or so of travel in a surprisingly quiet amount of woods. Before you start to hear the sound of as the sun begins to fall and night begins to settle in, you start to hear through the woods, "Hello? Anyone? Are you out there? Please help!" From in front of you. It follows along the trail, so someone along your way at least.
I suppose we should pick up the pace.
Yeah, let's hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And pressing through, you can you come to, well, you start to see another clearing in front of you. It seems to be through some bushes though. Are you just going to barrel through, or you want to assess the scene?
I would like to assess the scene.
Stop and look would be last time we ran into a clearing. There was a dragon there, so
That's fair. That's very fair. Well, you will push into a scene, push and stop yourselves at the edge of a scene of what appears to be a tied and bound teenager. She's like calling out for help in front of you in what appears to be a small assortment of ramshackle little shacks. And she's still continuing. Help! Somebody! Please!
Goatlings? Goatlings.
almost certainly goblins.
So maybe I've been holding on to this information for too long. I know that recently things have. We find ourselves in a position that there's something I feel we all need to be perfectly clear on. Something that we all need to be aware of. And I should have mentioned it before. I know this is possibly too late. It could already have been of some use to us. But I feel that I should probably pass it on. Saying that I need us all to bear in mind going forwards. The collective noun for goats is technically a trip. So if we could, rather than gaggle, makes it seem a bit more unorganized. But no, a trip is the collective noun for goats. So, sorry, continue with whatever you were doing.
Okay.
So with goatlings, is it triplings?
I can only assume.
Trip of goatlings.
A tripling of goatlings.
Goatlings.
I mean, it sounds delightful. Like a school.
Sorry, are we gonna save her or not?
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah, we may as well, and we'll just attempt to push back, or not push back, push through the brush.
Okay. As soon as I get back into focus, I'll be fine. The forest growing dark around you with barely any light making its way through the canopy. Your birds and beasts clamber beyond every bush, and eventually, as you clear through this final dimly lit clearing surrounded on all sides by oak trees, the girl turns stunned, tears streaking her dirt-caked face as she sees you. Are you actually there? Please help! And before you can respond, you hear the more crashing sounds from the forest as sick, hideous creatures emerge into the clearing. Goat-headed and cloven-hooved, they stand 6 goatlings, which I will once again show because this image perfectly fits the scenario. One of them laughs harshly.
Give us the sweetling. We've had dinner. She'll make a fine dessert.
And I'm going to need everybody to roll me some initiative as you can pull yourselves on to the sheet. Okay. Let me get you guys on here and bada boop. Boop. Who else is on here? Calliope and Leo. Oh, you're all different sizes.
I was like, what happened?
Calliope is
All right.
always huge.
Calliope has
Lord.
been huge the whole time.
Ah.
And indeed a tripling of goatlings. Perhaps even 2 triplings for 6.
Oh.
Form a square here. And let me add a turn for these fellows, and I'll add a turn for Tefera as well. Oh, come on. 20 and come on now. Initiative you. Okay. I think that's just about everybody. Assume a tied and bound girl here.
Yep.
Tefera, you're first up.
Tefera's going to walk, out of range of the girl that is there. And probably I would say like in this direction, like back over here some, away from everybody. And she's just going to cast her Arms of Hadar.
All right. You get the arms.
Yes. So she will, I don't know. So we're not on like a gridded map. So she wants to be close enough to cast this, but not close enough to hurt the female, the girl.
You can assume measurements are accurate in this case. If you just
Okay.
use the measuring tool.
All right. Well, then should I put myself back where I was so I can do the actual?
Sure thing.
measurements? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go
do
for
that.
it. Go for it. You were well within your 30 feet to do so, but
Okay. She's going to move to probably, yeah, right there. So she will move very closely into these guys' faces, these ones.
Mhm.
And she's going to. Okay, good. She's at least 12 feet. Anyone
Oh.
that's within 10 feet of her has to make a strength saving throw.
okay. Goatlings, famous for being very strong. So 3 of those. I have a 4, a 15, and a 7.
The 15 will save, but it will still take half. So,
Okay.
so 2 will take 5 necrotic damage,
Mhm.
and 1 will take 2.
So remind me in the audience what this looks like.
It probably looks like, I can't remember exactly how, but I think it was like kind of like black tendrils, but snake-like.
Yeah. So snake-like go out and wrap around all of these creatures in a giant blast to the forest, and 2 of them are just coiled up and immediately kind of like crushed. You hear a sickening bone break between the 2 of them. One of them is able to kind of like shake off enough to retain its internal organs function, but it appears that these guys aren't built Tonka tough, you know? So yeah. What's your go?
That's all.
Okay. Ponos.
Honest is going to do what he does best and pretend that he's something he's not. Being that he is smaller than, I guess, average human-sized satyr. He's probably about 5'9", 5'10". But he's still, he's still an adventurer, a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty jacked. But he is going to use the minor illusion to put a terrifying goat's head on his naked body, so that he should hopefully be a much larger and more intimidating looking goatling to them. And just look at the three that have just seen two of their friends crushed and one narrowly avoid that horrible fate, and kind of stand next to the girl and then just beckon a challenge, and then start pouring a hoof in the dirt, and kind of offer that as an intimidating challenge to them.
One of those will immediately bolt, screaming about the big scary goat man. The other two,
a bigger boy made me do it.
The other two will kind of hold ground for the moment, either frozen in fear or at least somewhat seeing through your deception.
Perfect. And then I will use my bonus action to take the dodge action.
All right, works for me. Leo.
Yes. He, after that one bolts, I think he then rushes over to this one. And I think with a bunch of pent up rage, swipes for 19 to hit.
Yeah, that will definitely hit.
Slashing damage for 12.
Bisected. Absolutely destroyed. Just with a single clean swipe of however you hit this, it cuts right through. And this figure spins and collapses to the ground.
And that is my turn.
All right, Calliope, you're up.
Cool. Seeing that my party members here are handling our attackers pretty well, Calliope's just going to go up ahead and try to start undoing the bindings on our person here.
Sure, make me a sleight of hand check, I suppose. We're doing this.
Oh boy. Well, I should be okay at this, maybe.
Natural
20. Let's go.
You realize these are pretty simple dots. When you get right down to it, just pull this line here and this line here, and just the whole thing comes undone right before you.
Don't even know how to tie a bowl in SMH.
Anything else on your turn?
No, I'm just gonna leave it.
All right, Threnos, you're up.
Threnos will unfurl his wings and whip a wing in the direction of the hurt one next to Defira. And a single feather will go flying out of it. And as it flies, it will catch fire. And with a 14, will the firebolt hit it?
Yes, just barely.
For 3 damage.
That's exactly how much you needed.
Woohoo!
As that fiery feather bolt hits, and just you see this sputter and grab at it, try to pat out the fire before it quickly kind of consumes and clutches at it like an arrow wound and falls back.
That's it.
All right, Eliana. Would you like some emotional crash dummies?
So yeah, Eliana's just gonna take a quick grab her spear, put it she's gonna throw it, just take a quick 5-step forward and hook it.
Okay, make an attack.
20 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit. Of course, you guys attack well
Or
against goatlings.
8 piercing as I just shoop.
You make a goatling shish kebab as it just flies cleanly through the air and right through this thing's small torso. It struggles for a brief moment and then dies. As you are once again left in relative silence.
Is she okay, Calliope?
That's a great question, GM. Is she okay?
She's fine.
Yeah.
She's crying and concerned, but overall fine.
She's all right. It's gonna be all right. We got you.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't think I'd get away. I'm sorry. I'm Corinna.
Calliope. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And she reaches out a hand and will like grab it, like pull you into a hug. Just thank you.
It's no problem. Are there more of you?
Yes.
Where have you seen any others?
Yes, my friends. They're here. I'm sorry.
Hey, take your time. Deep breaths.
They
In through the nose, out through the mouth.
You sound like father. We came out here. There was this beautiful woman. She scans the group and she looks at DeFira with kind of like a tilt of her head. She looked like you, only different. I don't. Sorry. She said, she was having a party and, we were a bit under siege and the festival was over and we all just decided to come out. I mean, one at a time and slow and come back and try and get the others to, yeah, it doesn't matter. I was out here and this dumb and stupid and I just, look, I thought it would be fine, just a party in the woods, but then this satyr comes up to me and he says, I'm about to face a fate worse than death, and that kind of freaked me out. I tried to run and the goatlings were following me and they caught me and they tied me up. I thought they were going to eat me and it sounded like they were. So I don't know. The others are there though. I can bring you to them.
We'd appreciate that a lot.
Good.
Don't think I need to tell you not to do this again. I think you know now.
Right. The only thing I'm going to do again is go in and save my friends.
Of course.
You said your name was Corinna?
Yeah. Sorry. Karina Phobos.
Your father mentioned you. I
Oh no.
met him on my passing.
Oh no, was he angry?
No. He was sad
Oh, thank the five.
and fearful.
Yeah, that's him. Okay. Yeah, look, I'll head right home, but I'm getting everyone else out first.
Oh, there are not good things in this forest, so you should stay close with us, regardless.
That was the plan. You're going to go in and help save them, right?
Absolutely.
Good. Why are you here, though?
We're here to serve up a fate worse than death. No, that was the other guy. That's not him.
We
Oh,
were here for
good.
something the goatlings took, but also you and your friends.
Go. Oh my gosh, the horn? Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm drinking. Eliana will nod her head.
Okay, yeah, no, they have it. I mean, Demetria has it. She's okay. She's really good at manipulating people, okay? I don't know what, but she's can just make you feel things, and it's not safe around her.
When she says a name, does Defera recognize that from her memory, or no?
You super do. It was also
Okay.
in your Vercy's prophecy, which I could.
I just couldn't remember if they fully name dropped them. But
So much lost and yet so much to gain. You will see your family again. Find your sister Demetria in the Mossy Temple, and you shall become a part of something once more.
check.
So that pings into your head. And she looks around you, and as she surveys the group, she'll always kind of pause on you, Defera, as if like unsure, obviously. But I look, I need to go in with you, so I'll stick close and show you the way. It's just a little bit further down the path. I wasn't able to get too far. Just be careful. I don't think my friends know. Loreas only warned me, and it's because I was looking at the flowers for a little bit. And he kind of got me away from the rest of the group to listen for a moment, and I got scared and I ran after that.
Well, let's go get your friends then. Lead the way.
Okay. And so she does. She leads you through a bit more forest along a path until shortly enough you enter into sorry, this tool never works correctly the first time I use it. A large clearing dominated by 7 large standing stones, each about twice the height of a man. The canopy is less thick here, allowing dappled light to pass through its rustling branches. Small creatures occasionally dart through the carpet of the earth of leaves blanketing the ground. Each of the standing stones is covered in splotches of fuzzy green moss, arranged in a half circle and cold to the touch. You sense they may have been here for a long time. She points forward. Just a bit further. I mean, we can stop here for a moment if you need to, but just through the trees. Then into the temple. I don't think they have a name for it. She just kept referencing it as the Mossy Temple, and just let's hurry. She beckons you on, and you're able to enter amongst these standing stones, ready to face the challenges that come next. But that's a story for next time. With a price extracted, though perhaps not as costly as you might have expected or initially thought. You enter in to what you hope to be the final stretch of your journey here into the Old Wood. Stakes higher than ever, and anger coursing through your veins like nothing else. Will that anger serve you well in the Mossy Temple? There's only one way to find out, and that's to put one foot right in front of the other. But as I said, that is a story we shall tell next time, as you have ventured deep into the woods. When next we return with Oathsworn, the Odyssey of the Dragonlords. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. I, of course, have been Turk or Turk accented, but before I say anything further, my fellow storytellers here around the circle, if you could please let the people know who you are, who you're playing tonight, and where they can find more of your wonderful faces, that would be greatly appreciated. Starting with Comrade.
Hey, Comrade Crash. I played Leo Dracos, the human paladin, Oath of the Dragonlord. You can find me on Twitter, and this Thursday I'll be over at Nat 20. We'll be running the department, Delta Green TTRPG. In the evening. I don't know what time actually.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Now on to Sir Heck.
Hey everybody, it's me, Sir Hecklot. Tonight I play Calliope, the Siren College of Epic Poetry bard, who is the path of the Dragon Slayer. I did it right that time. You can find me on all of the social medias at Sir Hecklot, including Twitch, Itch, Instagram, all that stuff. In terms of this TTRPG space, I am kind of everywhere this week. Tomorrow you can find me over on the Lost Caribbean RPG, playing our finale of our Locust mini campaign. If you really liked some of the characters from Raven's Crest here on TPK, I'm playing my character from that, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Thursday, you can find me here with Chrissy for Tyranny of Dragons, our Queen's Gambit campaign. I may or may not be personal streaming on Friday. We're going to see how tired I am at the end of the week. But this Saturday evening is our next Coven game. We're playing Locust, and I will be on the GM side of it. It's going to be super fun. I'm very excited with the character backgrounds I've gotten so far. And then on Sunday, you can find me on Neon Lights Roleplay with the Violet Sea. And I think that, also, I'm going to re-shout out the department because y'all won't want to miss that. Please go at least watch some of it. It's going to be very cool. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, let's move it on over to HP.
I am the last hit point hero, and tonight I played Thrynos, the Siren Sorcerer, along the path of the demigod. You can find me next this Friday for Cold Hands, Warm Hearts. We are going to be engaging what has been referred to as the HP cinematic universe, as there will be some crossover this week with the other long-term campaign that wrapped up a bit ago. So we are crossing the streams in a way that is surprisingly fun, just with a couple references. So catch me here on TPK Roleplay at 8:30 Eastern time that night. Besides that, that's it for now. My other stuff's off stream, which may be on stream later, so secrets. That's it for me. On to the Tony.
Hello, I am the toe knee. The knee that grows on toes, or the toes that grow on knees. Who knows? I know, but
It's
who knows?
The knee of the toe, the second knuckle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shit, that the second and third knuckle of your knee. Anyway, I have played Eliana Legide, our prophetic cleric, the gifted one. You can catch me playing the Dark Echoes this Saturday, as we have come back after our DM's blessing of the day of birth. We're probably going to get super murdered again.
Be fine.
After, the whole saint issue. I don't know. I'm fearing it's Luca and her baby that is Curse of Strahd. Other than that, I don't think I'm doing anything till the 8th when we come back for Oathsworn, and apparently we gotta go beat up Defira's sister that we don't know that's her sister. Apparently there's family drama. Yay! Who doesn't like to deal with that? And then Emerald Expeditions comes back March 21st. for the third session. It'll be interesting. Trust. But that's me. We're gonna go upwards to Al.
Big trust. Thanks, Vix. I've been playing your slightly concussed Ponos, the satyr rogue, walking the incredibly cursed path, with all my rolls tonight being, I think, less or equal to 0. I don't think I rolled any positive numbers on about 4 checks. So
Your initiative.
Oh, my initiative was a 15. That was lively. Yeah, I joined the big big swingers club with double digits because, you know, I'm just as try hard as everyone else. So that was fun. That was the highlight. Chef's kiss. Very good. I'll be back here in a fortnight for more ridiculous bonus plans. Plans. And that's all I do with my life. So I'll catch up with you then, and I'll hand it onwards and upwards to Chrissy.
Hello. I'm Chrissy. I play Defira, our Medusa Warlock. Walking the path of the Haunted One. Oh, geez, all the things. I don't know. Just check the TPK schedule. I am in a lot of the things on different days as different characters. I do not remember. The most upcoming, the most pertinent is this Thursday with Sir Heck. I don't know if we're allowed to announce it yet, but Sir Heck has another amazing thing coming up in March that I'm very excited about, but it's kind of a secret still, maybe?
I don't think it's on the calendar yet, but be ready.
Fuck. Okay. Just kidding.
It's okay. It's just exciting thing, but be ready for March.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't think of anything else. The only other thing I can think of is I am a Jasper's Game Day ambassador for 2022. So if you are not familiar, make sure you check out the link and the website and their Twitter and the whole 9 yards. I will be playing over at Ghostlight RPGs on the 15th of March, I believe. I can't remember exactly. It's somewhere on my Twitter. But we will be doing a Jasper's Game Day fundraiser. So please come join us. Donate some monies. Make the game go really badly, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe try not to kill me with the tree. Special request. No tree death. At least
promises.
Make it like something cooler than just a tree. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, yeah, that's all. Check out Jasper's Game Day, and now to you, Turk.
Something cooler than just fine then. I'm gonna hurt you with family trauma. Hey everybody, I am Turk, or Turk Extended. I have had the distinct pleasure of being your GM for the evening. Of course, firstly and foremost, support everyone you see on your stream here because they are absolutely incredible and deserve your support. But if you want to see more of me, I have some great news because tomorrow I'll be right back here with Hubris of Man, an Aliens campaign run by the ever wonderful Estoria. It's got banter and bullets and is just a grand old time because we're in a derelict ship. Thursday, as Heck Comrade have noted, we'll be running Delta Green scenario in a series of shows I'm calling The Department. So if you like Call of Cthulhu, if you like extra liminal horror and all the terrible things that come in scenarios like that, I have some excellent news because I'll be doing that. Beyond that, of course, more horror coming on Saturday with Curse of Strahd in Dark Echoes. Another recording of Core Hearts should be coming up, so increase your hype by 1 dial point if you wish. Sunday, Hopewell Harbor. I'll be right back here under the wonderful Harrison with an exceptional cast that I hope to be able to cling on to. And then Monday will be the next showdown of Iron DM between Osiris Franco and Zipron Disney. It should be a great time. And of course, we'll be right back here March 8th for the first entry into the Mossy Temple, where there might or may not be a squirrel. So, you know, consider that. Oh, hi. Anyway, we'll also have I'll be eventually over on the Lost Caravan RPG with some Lancers. So definitely check out them. They put up a bunch of awesome stuff. Really great crew over there. But that is going to be it for the evening. Thank you all once again for showing up and supporting us. It means the world to me that you would spend your evening with us. And remember that even the gods are bound by oaths and prophecies. And that even your weakest party members have the strength to overcome great obstacles. Thank you all so much once again. Thank you, my players. And a good night to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. HP, please take us out.
Hit the button.